ago, the Democratic candidate was off to tour the country and to establish a record of speech-making energy and endurance never matched by any presidential candidate. At a great meeting in Topeka, Kansas, many thousands of farmers greeted his appearance and listened intently to his message of the New Deal for farmers as he addressed himself to those problems which are of outstanding importance to that section, renowned for its far-flung acres of wheat and corn. Off again, 60 miles an hour to keep the right schedule of appearances, to disappoint no city or section. The Northwest indicated how the political winds were blowing when a vast and enthusiastic crowd welcomed him to Seattle, the metropolis of Washington State. The people showed an eager desire to get near this friendly man who seemed to understand them and who talked their language. The politicians said there'd been no such outpouring to greet a Democratic candidate since the days of the great commoner, William Jennings Bryan. And they recalled that Bryan had been defeated 3 times. Having made a profound impression on his Northwest audiences, Roosevelt headed again for the East. One of his greatest meetings was in Chicago. Mayor Anton Cermak presided at a dinner in the governor's honor. And little could either know that only a few months would elapse when a brain-twisted fanatic would fail in an attempt to assassinate a president, but would fire the bullet which cost brave Cermak his life. Campaign labors were sometimes lightened by a ball game, and thousands got an extra thrill for their money when Governor Roosevelt himself threw out the ball to start the game going. And to add to the general festivities, the greatest showman who ever stepped up to the plate, the actor who never disappoints, the one and only Babe Ruth, crashed out a Ruthian drive clear over the right field fence, much to the governor's delight. Always he must heed the admonition, do not disappoint the crowd. You must be at so-and-so at such and such a time. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And so we find Governor Roosevelt already sensing the elation of coming triumph as he feels the pulse of the people, entering Springfield, Illinois. Away again. Speed, speed, speed. Atlanta on his southern tour gave him a marvelous greeting, for Georgia is his second home, and he has spent many months there in recent years.
Tonight marks the end of a perfect day. In fact, I might say truthfully 2 perfect days. The great warmth of your welcome has reinforced the obvious fact that insofar as carrying on a campaign in Georgia to get votes, my visit to this state has not been exactly necessary.
And way down south in Georgia, he had some grateful hours at his winter home in Warm Springs. In the warm, magnolia-scented air, he gathered new strength to carry him on through the grueling campaign. Some real country fiddlers entertain him, while up north, Al Smith is making the Welkin Ring in Newark, New Jersey.
What piece you'd like to hear? I'd like to have you play Soldier Joy. friends of New Jersey. And I state from this platform to my nationwide audience that the election of the Democratic ticket is the best way to solve these problems, the best way to bring back prosperity. The election of Roosevelt, of Garner.
Off again to New England this time to wage the hardest fight of the whole campaign. And in Boston, devoted to Alfred E. Smith, the governor gets an unexpectedly enthusiastic reception. And in the great convention hall, many thousands gather to hear the words that fall from the lips of the man upon whose shoulders the mantle of the presidency is already visible. It is the climax of his campaign. Election day is at hand. In New York City, Mr. and Mrs. Alfred E. Smith make their way through crowds to their election district polling place. And if you observe closely, you will notice that Al is wearing his campaign war bonnet, the hat he made famous, none other than the Brown Derby. And we catch a glimpse, too, of Governor Roosevelt waiting for the returns. And then election night in New York City. Surging crowds everywhere. Uproarious cheering as the news comes in early that Roosevelt has swept the nation, leaving little but the crumbs for the routed GOP. The smile of victory. But he was a pretty tired man, little as he showed it, and a dip in the pool proved invigorating. And the hour came on the historic 4th of March to tell the people frankly and courageously that there had to be a new deal. From the inaugural platform erected upon the east front of the majestic Capitol, the president made his speech of acceptance as 150,000 looked on and as 50 million listened in by radio.
This is a day of national consecration, and I am certain that on this day my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into the presidency, I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our people impels. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth and boldly, nor need we shrink from honestly facing conditions in our country today. This great nation will endure as it has endured, will revive and will prosper. Under my constitutional duty to recommend the measures that a stricken nation in the midst of a stricken world may require. These measures, or such other measures as the Congress may build out of its experience and wisdom, I shall seek within my constitutional authority to bring to speedy adoption. But in the event that the Congress shall fail to take one of these two courses, in the event that the national emergency is still critical, I shall not evade the clear course of duty that will then confront me. I shall ask the Congress for the one remaining instrument to meet the crisis: broad executive power to wage a war against the emergency as great as the power that would be given to me if we were in fact invaded by a foreign foe. This nation is asking for action, and action now. In this dedication of a nation, we humbly ask the blessing of God. May he protect each and every one of us. May he guide me in the days to come.